yelling. It's too early in the morning for you to be yelling. What are you talking about? What is it? Boba! Boba! Are you done? The things we do for our children. Indoor bounce house. Ginny, you having fun? It literally barely fits in the living room. Happy Monday, March 29th here. I have not shot any B-roll or any footage in a very long time, so I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of an update on what's been happening, at least at the shop. As franchise side things, we'll do another recap later, but I probably would have clipped the montage video in the beginning here a little bit, but you know, as you guys can see, the cafe section has been completely redone. So we have additional seating, we have a ramen booth area so people can go in, sit down, and just kind of quick meals. They can go in and eat and stuff like that. We actually got dividers for people so we can go ahead and have people sit side by side. For right now, it's been separated, but last week essentially put in, I mean, it was coming in Monday, Tuesday all day, and then the pretty much pulling near all-nighters the following 3 days and stuff to get the store reset. But you know, this week, same thing. There's still a lot of things to do, including redoing the entire counter area. Now, thankfully, a couple of the pieces arrived today, but unfortunately, the display cases that we need have been delayed a few days. But geez, door's locked. But yeah, they're too big to come inside, so we had to leave them outside here. But we'll be bringing them in shortly. Better lock the door. We are closed today. We are also redoing the mini mart section. So what I did was, previously they were only 5 rows deep and everything, but what we did was in order to increase the space of the cafe area, we combined the shelves into both an entire row of shelves into the 2 rows, so we can go ahead and double the capacity that it normally had. So it definitely looks a lot cleaner. I still have to do this aisle in the next 2 days here and stuff, so I'll get that done. The retail area has been buttoned up. Let me flip the camera. Here we go, much better. Retail area has been buttoned up. Our in-house vendor Fu has now a proper little area to work in now. Nice little cubby, cubicle-like workspace. We still have to get his new sign, the Wall Market, up here. For those of you who know Final Fantasy VII, ironically, he's right next to Midgar, so it's going to work perfectly up there. Got the dragon shields all nicely set up too. We have our slave labor. Don't worry, I'm sorry, business partner. Nope. We have our business partner tucking away at the cards here and everything like that. But as you guys can see here, we completely redid the count. And so over here, by the way, you'll see the black tables here set up. This is where the display cases, so more display cases like that and that are going to be coming. So they're going to be running on this corner. So we're going to have our own little island here too. But more retail will be set up in this aisle here. But then this just opens up into the gaming space, which I'm going to be completely redoing today, this whole week as well too. So we're going to repurpose the esports side and put all the tables along this row here, and then all the esports will be on this side here. We're resetting up the one private room to be a theater, a mini theater room, so the PS5 can be in there, and just a lot to do. And obviously, eventually, we have to get to the back room, actually paint the back room and such like that. So, but just like last week, a lot, it's the workload is still just as much. I got to completely rewire the network system in here. I gotta fix the AV issue with the HDMI cables, and then more importantly, I reroute the network for the gaming systems up here and everything. But progress is happening, always happening. Oh man, but no. In terms of the franchise side of things, I'm trying to think how much I can say right now. But we're definitely going through the candidates right now, and thankfully, I want to say that I've gone through about 30 interviews so far. 30 interviews. We have about 12 people who are pending right now. we have 3 individuals who are on the final steps. So for those of you guys who don't follow me on TikTok, I recently announced that Oklahoma City, as well as Asheville, North Carolina, were pending right now. So essentially they're in their final steps. They're ready to go. They're just waiting for the finances to be buttoned up, as well as get the final green light from their lawyers and everything. So it's just kind of imminent any day now. So, I've been kind of on edge, just anxiously waiting for someone to just be like, hey, I'm ready to go. And then what's funny is, out of those 2 shops, they will be the #1 store. So they'll be the very first franchise we're going to be opening. So just very excited for that and be able to share that and everything. But more on that later. We'll update you guys. I just wanted to give you guys kind of like the state of play, like where we're at these days and stuff. Also too, inadvertently, the wall partitions we set up to make sure, the separation between customers and people who are eating, we turned it into like a graffiti wall. So we're letting customers come in. We left markers out. Let me just come out here. We left markers out for them, and people can just go ahead and just sign, put some artwork and just kind of sign their place on the wall here. And so people have begun doing so. Oh, this is actually, so I put a lot of time on this one here. And we're just hoping that more and more people, take up on our offer on that and just do it. We have our history of Legos here. This is a quick thing on this is we built a Lego kit representing each year and stuff like that. So we've been in business for about a little over 6 years now, potentially. So we're gonna be putting up we're gonna have an artist come in and put draw our history of Gamers Heaven over here and everything like that. This entire row eventually will be filled with figurines, manga, and other retail products too. But for right now, getting the spacing for it, because it's stuff that we pre-order for that's coming out in later in the year and everything like that. So, but everything's definitely starting to come together. The shop's definitely taking shape, and more importantly, right now we're just doing our best to get the store reset. And I should preface this in the beginning. We're getting the store reset right now so we can get ready for 75% operations. So the states are going to start lifting some of the restrictions it's set starting April 5th. And so we can start operating more on a regular basis. So right now we're going through the hiring process, bringing on more people. We're going to open up the food area so we can start selling ramen again and everything, and just bringing back more individuals. So that's why we're doing all the changes, because not only do we have an increased retail presence, but the play space is going to get used again. So we got to make sure everything's set up properly and just get things going. But another reason for all the changes is when for the new franchisees come in to train, they're going to be able to come in and see how their store should be laid out and get an idea of how to design it, as well as to get a fit and feel for it and how to run it and everything. So we just got to get prepared on our end for all that. So, it's a lot here. But hopefully by the end of the week, I get it all done. So the video next week, you guys should be like a nice overview of our current configuration stuff, and we'll go from there. What's going on, guys? It's currently Monday, March 1st. So already month 3 of 2021. Time's definitely flying quick. Quickly want to apologize. I know the phone's going to be shaking quite a bit. I'm going to work on getting myself a better Steadicam, like a GoPro or something, to do these car vlogs with you guys. But hope you guys can bear with me. Something's going on up front. All right, did not expect some traffic up front here, but no, just wanted to give you guys, obviously, my bi-weekly update now. So I've been already doing weekly updates. Well, I'll do weekly if I'm able to. Obviously, just with me focusing more on the working side of things and the franchise stuff. Don't want to really bore you with if it's just general updates and stuff like that. Want to give you at least 2 weeks worth of things that have happened. But also want to apologize for the lack of B-roll. I didn't really get a chance to record too much in the last 2 weeks. I recorded several TikToks. I really haven't been able to shoot too many videos with my boys and stuff. I think I may have put a little bit up front here, but overall, though, the main point of these things is to really just document what's going on. So what has happened the last 2 weeks? So have we sold any franchises yet? We're still working on things. So I actually just had my meeting this morning, going over the pretty much Discovery Day, which is the introductory presentation that I'll be giving to all new leads, as well as when I host webinars, going over this slide presentation that's going to go over the business's mission statement, philosophy, history, what the franchising process will look like, what it takes, and just go over in more detail. So still keeping it high level, but going over things a little bit more detail in terms of obviously too mentioning beyond the website what the level of commitment and the work is going to look like. So what are we going to do for the franchisees? What is the training process going to look like, etc. And so we're going to go through all of that. And so hopefully, so I'm going to schedule my first webinar probably next Tuesday. So we're going to do next Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday and Thursday evenings. And then after those, hopefully we can, we'll be scheduling some calls with individuals, taking the next steps further and everything, releasing the franchise disclosure document and so forth. So obviously I kind of wish that this was happening, a week, 2 weeks earlier than I wanted to, but obviously you can't rush this process. You want to make sure that you take your time and get everything right. You get your messaging right, because you also don't want to say the wrong thing. Because if I'm not allowed to mention anything, I need to know that. And actually, I'm really glad that we had our meeting today, because we went over a couple details where I was just like, oh, is it okay if I, mention this one thing? And they're like, is it in your franchise disclosure document? I'm like, well, no. And they're like, then you can't mention it. You can't make that a part of the process of selling and promoting your franchise. I'm like, okay, then. That makes sense. So it's you got to keep it high level informational. So it's more of an information session than a sales session. So it definitely, it put my mind at ease quite a bit. So my coffee, by the way, I'm not sponsored or anything, but if you guys haven't tried Coca-Cola coffee yet, I know, sounds weird. I was skeptical too. The Coca-Cola rep came in a couple weeks ago and was like, yeah, we just released Coca-Cola coffee. I'm like, all right, you guys kind of did bad with your energy drink. I don't think I'm going to charge you with coffee, but if it's a free sample, I'll give it a whirl. I tried it, and I can tell I'm getting older, because I'm a person that doesn't traditionally like coffee. I'm just not a coffee person. I'm more of an energy drink person. But this, because I also like, I like soda. So I like Coca-Cola Classic and, so forth. This right here is like the perfect blend of both worlds. I can totally see kids not liking this because it's got that coffee taste to it. But for some reason, me, my other teammates, as well as my wife, we all tried it, and we're just like, it's actually kind of good. I don't know how to feel about this, but I end up really liking it. Now, I haven't been able to, I've been buying my stock from another store just because I've had to wait to restock my Coca-Cola product, but I'm going to do that this week. Because the convenience stores around me only have the sugar versions, and I want the Coke Zero, the zero sugar versions as well. So I'll be ordering those this week. So hopefully by Friday, I'll have my stock. But it's, man, it's just been, I've been pretty much because I'm not a coffee drinker, but I was like, oh man, this is the perfect drink for me, for my version of coffee in the morning. To give me the little pick me up and then the caffeine. So no, I definitely appreciate it. But yeah, no, back to the story. Sorry. Side tangent there. But no, now that we have the process done, I'm going to be, sorry, I just got to get out of this. I live in the suburbs, so it's not quite as bad probably, but sorry for that side note. I'm doing this. It's a true one take, folks. It is a true one take going on here. I just spilled because I just braked really hard. No! But no, guys, yeah, so we're in the middle of essentially just, we're just making sure we cross all our T's, dot all our I's, and then, make sure we that it's not we, it's I. Then I do this right. Because the last thing I want to do is, accidentally mislead someone and then be slapped with a lawsuit immediately following. That does nobody any good. And so I'm just going to do this. We're going to do this the right way. And in terms of the leads, so far we have about 170 people now that have responded in terms of going through the inquiry process. Only a handful have returned the questionnaire, but that's understandable because, the questionnaire is asking for a lot of information, and, people are probably still kind of like they're on the fence about things. So we're going to be inviting everyone to the open webinars. Just have an open presentation. open presentation about things, just give the info out there, and if I have time, answer some questions with everyone. But overall, though, I'm hoping that those sessions start going well, and then we can start the process. Because the way the process is going to look is, after we do that webinar process, we're going to schedule a one-on-one call. For those that are qualified, they go through the financial checker and they give back the questionnaire. They're serious about moving forward. They're going to receive our copy of our franchise disclosure document that's going to go over everything in detail, like a lot. And it's a really long document, so that's why we want to go through these several introductory processes, because the last thing you want to do is overwhelm someone with the whole thing if they don't know what they're reading, or if they don't understand the direction they need to take. It's sort of like saying, let's say you're trying to get someone into the Harry Potter series, right? There's 8 very long books that go into quite a detail, and it's quite the read. So instead of just giving how do I get into Harry Potter? Oh, here, I'm really interested, but I don't know how to get into it. Well, here's all 8 books, go. No, it's, why don't you either show them the movie, show them one of the movies, see what they think, see how they feel for it. Or if they're not much of a movie person, but they're interested in the books, give them the cliff notes, give them the spark notes, give them the quick overview of one of the books, see how they feel. And if they're still interested in moving forward, then you give everything to them for them to enjoy, whether it's the movies or the books. And I hope that's a good analogy for you guys, but that's kind of what it is. And so I've been having very good discussions with several people out there. I've also personally put, I also made the very difficult decision take that back, not as difficult as I made it before. So originally I was looking into making the home store one of our first franchises, for several reasons. Number one being, obviously, I've mentioned it before that I've accumulated a lot of debt in the last 6 years now developing this business concept. And, that debt didn't disappear overnight. It's still there. COVID definitely did not help, and instead it added to it, if anything. But we are now where we're at. We now have a model that it's appealing to, and that I will not guarantee that individuals make money on, but I am confident that it will work. It's a difference. While I'm confident, but I can't be 100% sure, because every area, every demographic is different. So it's just a matter of, this will be a true test in seeing how well I did my preparation, and how well I can prepare, and we support one another to help the franchisees succeed in their goals of owning, a Gamer's Heaven. So it's not just my store; it's going to be their stores, and we're going to do this together. And so, but going back to why I was looking into franchising my store was because, number one, it's appealing because not only do we get to be able to be, so through the sale of it, so the price is, it's on the upper end just because of a couple factors. Number one, it's an established location. So built into the price that I set, I also made quite a bit of the budget to renovate the store to be up to standard with how I want future franchisees to look. But number two, it's an established location with a revolving customer base, a growing customer base, thanks to a multitude of reasons. And so it's an established revenue stream that's already coming. So you don't need to start from scratch. You already got that going for you. And it's going to be my home store. So there will also be an agreement made that the franchise corporation, so the GH Franchise LLC, can use that home store location as its training facility. So then corporate staff will be working at that store for free. And then any R&D that we need to do in terms of implementing new projects and stuff, home store's right there. So there is a lot of advantages to that. But then kind of the problem came into, we don't have full control over that location though. And so, I went back and forth on the thought, while it would have been nice to just be able to eliminate the debt, do the renovations, and have a little bit of extra money left over to help support the franchising company and the efforts, losing that home stores, the control over that, and the benefit of having a corporate location was, I had to weigh that in. So I made the decision to instead form a new company, essentially, to then take over that business. So it's going to be, it's just going to be obviously the corporate, so GH, GH franchise is going to run and operate that store, but also leave it up to private investors to see if they want to own a piece of it. So instead of going through the process of franchising owning it, they can own a small portion of the store, the home store, and with the money we can raise from that, you eliminate all the debt. And this is kind of where I was just like, oh, this makes it really plain. You eliminate all the debt. If there's if we're able to sell enough shares and raise enough money, we also do the renovations, and the store still has a good, it's a good solid position. So no one person will have more ownership than the store would, but it's then now the corporate store owns a corporate location. The corporation owns a corporate location that now we can use for not only training, but then R&D for new concepts. So a store of the future type concept look. We can work on that. And obviously the appealing part is the franchise corporation would then supply the staff to fully staff it. So that means the home store only needs to focus on covering the rent, utilities, and the building costs. Keep everything up, keep everything running, and obviously all the program fees and all that stuff. But that makes it a hell of a lot easier to, number one, run, but number two, also make a little bit of money for the investors and for the corporation side of things. Obviously, the money that we'd be making would go right into our staff, but at least for the outside potential investors, they can feel confident that, hey, there could be some ROI. Now, again, I'm not going to guarantee return on investments. It's just that it's a better chance for it. It's sort of like, if you gamble, would you rather risk putting all your money on roulette on one single number? It's a higher payout, but it's also very high chances of you losing it all. Or do you take the less risky bet and bet on the colors? Now, obviously, I know there's the green zones, but let's say they didn't exist. It's a 50-50 chance. Still a good chance that you could fail, but there's also a solid chance that you could also succeed too. So it's a coin flip. So it's the same thing with this. You can either go all in and own your own franchise, and there's still benefits to that as well, but then it could potentially still fail. At least with owning the home store location, it's been in existence. It's got less overhead costs and stuff like that, and so there's less chances for it to fail, even though it could still fail. And please don't take my statements out of context. The franchise location, like any business, has a chance to fail. AKA all the businesses and restaurants you've seen closing the last year, or over the last few years. But it's more, even franchising in general is it's like saying you're going into battle, but you're going to go into battle. Everyone has a chance of losing in a battle and stuff. But the thing you can do at least is give yourself the best chance possible by being prepared. You do your training, you do your research, you learn the lay of the land, you get all the equipment that you need to be able to combat any situation that arises. And that's what franchising does. It's, you want to go into the war of owning your own small business, let alone a gaming anime business. You want to go into it. But do you want to go into it by yourself, or do you want to go into it with a strategy? And on top of that, with a team. Do you go fighting solo, or do you fight with a team of people that are going to be in equally positions as you, and then you guys supporting one another like a squad? So, sorry, I'm a gamer. I got to think of those mindsets, but these are the kind of things you consider when you decide to franchise a business or open up and start up your own. And there is that. So there's been a lot going on, a lot of things going through my mind. I'm not gonna lie, got very little sleep this past week, and. I've been stressed. I'm not gonna lie either. It's been it's, as the months drag on. So I was really hoping to be able to start selling franchises at the end of January, but now it's a full month later, and I haven't been able to truly start the sales process yet. I haven't been able to really give the FDD documents out to people, just because I need to make sure that I go through the proper channels to do so. And, but it's better late than never. We're putting all these resources in, and unfortunately, the reason why I started getting stressed was I do have a time window. If this goes on for a few months longer, not even a few months, another month or two, without me being able to start the sales process, my money, my funds for covering the fees of, doing the franchising process is going to run out. It's because we set aside a certain amount of money to be able to cover all this. And so I do have a timeline, essentially. Not to say that's the end all be all, but if things don't proceed in the next few months, then I have to rethink my strategy and then kind of redo things here. So there is a bit of a timetable on me, so that's why it's been a little stressful. On top of that, so that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is my uneasiness in terms of wanting the first couple stores to be open before the summer, because if they are open during the summer, which is going to be, and especially since I think restrictions are going to start easing up by then, so many people are going to be traveling, wanting to go out and visit these places, that if they are open at the beginning of it, it gives them the best possible chance to succeed right off the bat, and they can capitalize on it. And then it's going to be that peak, and then the plateau should be where they're comfortable and happy with. And that's why I really want. But obviously it can't happen if we're not open by then. Like, the later I sell, I can go through the selling process and give out the FDD, the later that these locations will open. And we obviously can't miss that opportunity and chance. So it's just I've been all over. And I go back and forth. Seriously, I go back and forth and stressing about, how am I going to run this company? How am I going to train people to? What if I don't sell anything? Oh my God, it's the end of the world. Like, I go back and forth, and I'm sorry. It's like, I think I saw a video about, like, it's what happens to people with, it's like people who are introverts and high functioning anxiety. That's kind of what it is. But it's both good and bad. I used to see it as a major flaw of mine, but it's good if you can control it, if you can at least, get your head game on, if you can get your head straight. But it's good if you can, it's good to know that you can look at, so let me just get here. You can look at things from both ends of the spectrum. And it just better prepares you mentally for whatever may come. So I'll go ahead and leave it at that. But, geez. But I think I've talked on long enough, 20 minutes. I apologize that some of my last videos have been very long. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it short here. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks or so, I got better news for you guys. And then we can go ahead and get caught up and go on. We can just keep going with things and stuff. But in the meantime, if you haven't already done so, please do consider following me on my TikTok page. I've been doing a lot of live streams, and Twitch too. I've been doing a lot of live streams, and just doing my best to post content there, just because it's easier for me to post content towards there, just because it's 1 minute videos, I can get it done and everything like that, and go there. But again, as always, guys, if you guys if you guys have been enjoying my pretty much my vlogging series, just documenting my journey here, would appreciate if you just left a like, and then you can also let me know by leaving a comment as well too. And any questions. I may not get back to the comment section all the time, but I do my best to at least keep an eye on it and everything. So, but again, thank you for your guys' time. If you've watched this part of the video and you haven't subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing, as things will get better with my content going forward as I get more time to devote to it later on. And but as always, whatever time of the day of the world it is that you're watching this video, please have a good day, good morning, and good evening. See you next time. Peace.